What's going on, everyone? My name is John and I have a company called Power Clean Pro Services. I'm based out here in the Northwest and I've been pressure washing now since 2021. I am an absolute nerd when it comes to everything pressure washing. I typically get into things and I absolutely obsess over every little detail. I try to figure out everything. And because of that, I become an expert on things pretty quickly. Before this, I was in sales and I was in marketing and I did a bunch of things in that industry. This is my first blue collar thing that I've ever done. This here has been a wild adventure because I've been able to use my sales skills, my marketing skills, and get out there and get some sun. So it's been pretty fun. So today, this channel is going to be about pressure washing, soft washing, and all the tips that you're gonna need in order to operate a pressure washing business. When I first started, there was a few channels out there that really gave me guidance. I remember watching Forever Self-Employed. Southeast Soft Wash was a really great channel for me. Jason Guyman, and there's a few others that I'm gonna forget to mention, but there was a lot of people out there that really started peeling back some of the layers of the questions that I should be asking. So I spent about $5,000 between marketing and my first pressure washing setup, and I got out there and I started cleaning some houses. And watching some of those videos gave me, honestly, a false confidence. I didn't know what I was doing. It got me my first start. I'm very confident. I am able to kind of figure things out. I'm a tinkerer. I love putting things together. I love taking things apart. I build computers. I do this, I do that. This has been a tinkerer's dream. And if you're watching this channel, you're probably the same thing. You probably want to start your own business. You looked at pressure washing, you've seen some videos, it's very satisfying. You probably have a pressure washer yourself and you've probably messed around with it yourself, just doing your own driveways, and you're thinking, hey, I could do that. I can quit my full-time job and make $1,000 a week. That's fine. So this channel is dedicated to you guys to unpack all of those things. I want to go through the equipment. I'm going to review products. I'm going to review software. I'm going to talk about pretty much everything there is about the pressure washing industry. In fact, I even wrote a book. This book is available on Amazon right now. It's called the Wash Playbook. The goal of writing this book was I wanted a resource that I wish I had when I first started. There was a lot of little pieces here and there, but nothing really comprehensive. Nothing, like I said, I had false confidence to go out and perform work. And short of just shadowing somebody who actually knows what they're doing, there wasn't a lot of great resources that were organized in a structured way. You could go out and find videos here and there. You can click how to do this, how to do that, but nothing taught you step by step on exactly how to do pressure washing and soft washing. That's what this guide solves. It's the most comprehensive guide to pressure washing and soft washing on the market. This is available on my website, thewashplaybook.com, as a digital download, or you can get the physical copy on Amazon. It's available on Amazon right now. Just search the Wash Playbook and that's going to come right up for you. Either way, I'm going to set this aside because I want to get into equipment right away. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is pressure washing. Well, I just happened to bring the second pressure washer I ever bought with me. All right, this is the 3-gallon-a-minute pressure washer that I bought from my friends at Seattle Pump and Equipment. Now, I didn't know too much about pressure washing. The first pressure washer I had, like I said, was the Ryobi. That didn't last long. A few jobs, not treating it right, all of those things, I ran through that. I think I even bought it used. This was the first one that I bought brand new, and I spent a pretty penny on this. I think it was like $700-800. And this is only a 3-gallon machine. So the question is, why is this a commercial grade equipment? Well, when you go to a resource like Seattle Pump and Equipment or any other pressure washing suppliers nearby, they're gonna have something basic like this. And you may think, oh, I can go to Home Depot and get, a 4-gallon-a-minute for about $1,000. There's some things to consider. First of all, you saw me lift this thing. If you are just starting and you don't have a dedicated truck for pressure washing and or soft washing, then you're gonna be lifting this thing in and out of your vehicle. That's something to consider. when you're pressure washing with a 4 gallon a minute unit, you're gonna have a much bigger pump, you're gonna have a much bigger motor, or maybe probably about the same size motor, but you're gonna have a bigger pump. The overall equipment is gonna be heavier. And yeah, belt drive and gear drive are gonna be better units, but they're gonna add a lot of weight to the unit. So lifting it in and out of your truck is gonna be kind of difficult. Even if you leave this in your truck and you have enough hose to go around the entire property, just getting it out for maintenance or just taking it in and out just to be able to utilize the bed of your truck is a consideration. So this one, I believe, has aluminum piping on it that makes it a lot lighter than the steel one. This is a pull to start, which I'm gonna swing this around. It basically means there's an off-on switch here. You rip this guy here, and that is going to turn it on. You have a, God, I haven't started this thing in so long. Over here, you have the choke and you have the throttle, and then you turn on the choke. In order to turn it on, you make sure that the gas is all the way on, and then I try to turn the throttle about halfway, flip the on switch, and then you fire it up. That's how you turn this guy on. You have the gas tank right here. I forget how much gas this one holds. Oh, sorry, and then to bring it to full throttle, once it's on, then you turn the choke off, then you slowly throttle it up to let it kind of come to full speed. You want to make sure that you have your water connected at the time. Have all your hoses connected before go ahead and turn it on. But you have your gas tank here, you have your exhaust here. This gets very, very, very hot and it kicks exhaust this way. Be mindful of where this is pointed. If this is pointed in your vehicle, at the side of your vehicle or at a door. I had a van where the door closed on the exhaust and it melted the entire panel. It was gnarly. But this gets very, very hot. So you have to be mindful of kids or anybody playing around this, where this is pointed. Yeah, just be very mindful of this right here. So this is gonna be your motor. This is made by Honda. Separately, you have your pump. This one, oh, this is a general pump. Okay, this is the TP2530. This is a 3 gallon a minute pump. So the motor is what creates the power. It takes gas to turn it into mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is transferred at the crankshaft to this direct drive pump. Now, what's a direct drive pump? Well, direct drive means that the crank is powering the pump directly. There's no gears that are changing the ratios. There's no belt drive that's separating the two together. The pump and the motor are directly connected. So on here, we have the unloader. This is going to regulate the amount of pressure that's coming through. You have the water outlet spout. So this is where the water gets pressurized in this pump and shoots out this way. And then you have the water inlet right here. That is where the water is going to come in at. You're gonna have this tube here. This is your bypass tube. So how this basically works is when water comes here, it gets pressurized and then it gets shot out through here. Now, when your finger is not on the trigger, this pump is still pressurizing water. This pump is still pressurizing water. So that water has to go somewhere. So instead of sending it this way, it sends it in this loop. What this loop does is it circulates the water back through the inlet spout and back through the pump. So it creates this cycle here. Now, when it does that, this pump is generating heat. This water is gonna get hotter. It's gonna get much warmer. Heat and mechanics don't work together. You want mechanical things to stay as cool as possible. This is why you have radiators, this is why you have oils, lubricant, things like that. You want less friction, less heat. So when this water is circulating, that water's heating, it's going to put a lot of wear on the pump. So the goal is to not be off of the trigger for as long as possible. I hope that makes sense. You want to continuously be on the trigger. So what you don't want is to be pressure washing and then put your wand down, step away, go have a chat with the homeowner while your machine's on. Not only are you burning gas at pretty much record high gas prices, but you're also putting a lot of wear on your pump, and that is not good. We want this pump to last as long as possible because these machines are very expensive. You're gonna change the oil on this thing. This and this is gonna have its own separate oil. The motor is gonna take standard oil. I use Valvoline synthetic high mileage, and the pump is going to use a non-lubricating oil. I said non-lubricating. That doesn't make any sense. The pump is going to use a non-detergent oil. Why these two are different? This has special soaps in it or detergents that clean the engine while the oil is being circulated. This does not. The reason for that is because this has water in it at times, and when you put oil in it, the oil mixes the water, it causes suds for detergents, and that oil makes you lose a lot of pressure really fast. So if you're losing pressure in your pressure washer and after an oil change, that's probably the culprit. You want to use non-detergent lubricating oil. You can pick it up from Walmart. I usually buy it from Napa, but this was on Walmart, or Napa was out, Walmart had a bunch, and I usually buy like a couple cases worth. But yeah, get that out of here. Okay, so from here, your water goes in here. Coming out is your pressure washing hose. Your hose goes to, you have your hose, 50 foot, 100 foot, and then you have your sections that do multiple sections, and then that goes into your pressure washing gun. Let me see if I have one of those. Be right back. All right, move this out of the way. These things get heavy, I'm telling you. So this is gonna be your pressure washing gun. You're gonna have your quick connect fitting down here, and it's gonna also be important. Let's see if I don't have a working one, but let me throw a makeshift one together. To have a ball valve right before your pressure washing hose, or right before your pressure washing wand or gun. So the ball valve is going to quick connect 3/8 inch into your pressure washing gun, and that's gonna allow you to, this one's stainless steel, I don't ever use this. I have to turn it with the force of God. That's gonna allow you to turn water off and on. That's important because you wanna be able to turn water off here without turning your pressure washer off. This allows you to switch between a surface cleaner, open ball valve, or different types of guns with ease. So sometimes you just need to cut water off. Having a DN10 ball valve with quick connects is gonna make your life super, super simple. Have this at the end of your hose, connected right into your gun. It goes in like this, turn the water valve on, and then you're ready to go. You've got your pressure washing wand, you have your different tips. Let's see, this is one of my favorites, the turbo nozzle. Turbo nozzle quick connects, 1/4 inch quick connect right on here. Goes on just like that. Make sure it's secure. So another thing that happens is guys will put it on and it's sitting like this. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll try to get a close-up of that. It'll sit like this, and then this becomes a projectile, right? If this is not locked in and you point it at a house or concrete, you've created a bullet. So you want to make sure that it's all the way in. I try to do that. I try to make it a habit of twisting it just to make sure that it's all the way locked in. Now you're good to go for your pressure washing. This tip is a 0-degree nozzle, so it shoots a jet of water, but then it shoots it in a conical shape. This is good for cleaning certain aggregate, retaining walls, things like that. You have to be careful because this nozzle is very aggressive and can really chip away at concrete. So don't use it too frequently, but it's a very useful tool. The other nozzles that you're gonna use are gonna be these tips here. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I almost never use these. I have them, they're sitting there. I bought a ton of them and I don't really use them anymore. You have your white tip. This is a 40-degree high pressure fan tip. So it's gonna create a 40-degree angle and it's gonna keep the full pressure. So if you're running a 3000 PSI machine, that's what you're gonna get out of this. If you have it paired with the right gallons per minute. So you wanna look at your nozzle. If you have a 3-gallon machine, you want 3-gallon tips, and then that's gonna keep your pressure maintained. If you put a 4-gallon tip on a 3-gallon machine, you're gonna lower the pressure. But you're gonna get a 40-degree angle out of the white tip. I think the next one, is the green tip. This is a 25-degree angle tip. Then you're gonna have the 15-degree tip, which is the yellow. Then you're gonna have the infamous red tip. Take this, throw it away. No, don't throw it away. You always keep your equipment. But this is gonna be the least useful tip. Almost never, ever, ever use this. I can't even really think of a scenario where I would recommend to use a red tip. If you know of a scenario, please drop it in the comments below. And don't just say, oh, I use it to blast gum off the concrete. You're etching that concrete, right? Do it right. Get some hot water or get some gum removal, something. It'd be better to chisel that thing off than use this red tip. If you have a real use case for the red tip, drop it in the comments. I want to hear what you have to say. Then you have this right here. This is the soap tip. Now, this is going to be, I don't know what degree it is. It's probably a 40-degree, 25-degree, but it has a larger orifice. That larger orifice is going to make it so that it's going to draw chemical. It's going to create a siphon effect if your machine is set up for that. So if you have a downstream injector or you have a soap reservoir tank, it's going to allow that chemical to draw in through the chemical injector, and It's going to lower your water pressure, so you're not going to get the 3,000 PSI that your machine claims. It's going to drop down to 300 PSI, and you're going to, and don't quote me on that, it's going to drop down relatively, significantly more, but it's going to draw chemicals. So this is what we call a soap tip. Again, this is something that you get when you buy residential machines. All these tips are really residential. Pros don't really use that too much. Let me show you what the pros use. This is what more professionals use. So first one I want to go over is the J-rod. So this little invention here was made to hold multiple tips in one device. So imagine having all of these tips, all more versatile tips on one device. So you're going to start off with your wide mouth 0 degree nozzle. So just like the red tip, this is 0 degrees. So it's going to shoot a jet of water, but it has a much wider mouth to it. That much wider mouth allows the chemical to draw and get a large volume a very long distance. So this is for applying chemical. Then you have a 0 degree high pressure tip. Again, that's like the red tip. I almost never use this. I don't advocate using this. In fact, this should be just removed from the J-rod almost completely. If I'm breaking up ice, sometimes I've used the 0 degree. Yeah, if I'm like trying to cut through ice, I've had to use it for that. Or like really, really hard. Yeah, if I'm trying to cut through something, I'll use a 0 degree, but that's it. Then you have a high pressure fan tip. So this is what I'll use instead of the 40 degree fan tip. And the reason why is this tip is a little bit lower pressure because it doesn't take that much pressure to clean concrete or pretty much anything. It takes a lot less pressure than people think. This relieves the pressure a little bit. It doesn't give me the full 3,000 PSI, cuts it down to probably about 1,000 PSI, maybe even less. And it allows me to get that fan tip. So I'm able to get a stronger clean than a soap nozzle, but I'm able to get a little bit more pressure than a soap nozzle, but a lot less pressure than what this thing is going to blast out because dirt doesn't take that much force to come off. So I like this tip, and this is my go-to tip when I'm pressure washing something that I want to apply some pressure to. Then there's the soap nozzle. This is a fan tip soap nozzle, so I will use this when I'm applying soap, kind of at lower level things and a fan spray. So this is good for 1-story homes. This is good for 2-story homes with the first level. This is good for applying things to cars, things like that. Now, I use this, and I use this for a long time, and this has been really good. But a few years ago, I got put on to this guy. This is you'll notice this from the X-Jet. This is an M5 twist. So the M5 twist, just the nozzle, put a 1/4 inch quick connect on it, and I attach it to this guy. This is a 3/8 inch quick connect to a 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch reducer to a, I don't know, 6-inch stainless tube or a 6-inch steel tube, then to a 1/4 inch steel tube, then to a 1/4 inch quick connect again. And I do just like this. I apply this to my downstream or to my ball valve so I can cut on and off water. What this does is that it twists, oh, this one's stuck. It twists so that I can adjust anywhere between a 0 degree shot and a fan tip spray. So this is what I use to apply chemical, apply chemical really high, really low. I can adjust everything right here. I'll use this for rinsing. So if I'm rinsing chemical off, or if I'm rinsing after the concrete has already been cleaned, if I find I need a little bit more water flow, I'll take this off and I'll use an open ball valve, and I'll just meter the water with the 10 ball valve. It's kind of like putting your finger over a faucet. It kind of makes a fan spray on it. But this is my personal setup that I like to use pretty much all the time. It's my favorite. It's short. I'm able to control things really easily, cut the water off. I just find that this gives me the absolute most versatility, as opposed to going from here and then saying, oh, I need to go to a fan tip and then coming back over here. I can just quickly adjust that and never have to turn the water off. So that's my favorite. Then you'll see guys also take these different shooter tips and install them on their J-rods or keep them separate like this. Nobody really keeps them separate like this, but I did this for just a test to see which one was actually gonna be the best. But you'll see people replace the 0 degree with different shooter nozzles like this. And this is the Davis shooter tip. This one is the sharpshooter. This one's, I believe, called the missile. And this is like a little cheap one that I got from Amazon. Spoiler alert, doesn't work well, but I keep everything that I buy for the most part. But yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know, from pressure washing to the nozzles, to the tips, to everything. If you want to learn more, make sure you pick up the Wash Playbook, available on Amazon right now. Just search the Wash Playbook and you'll find it, or visit thewashplaybook.com and you can get your digital copy with updates for all of 2025. I do periodic updates to it, and you're gonna get those updates to it. And if you have employees, you wanna share it with the employees, that's absolutely fine. You'll have a full digital copy to use. Either way, guys, thank you for watching this one. This is the first video on this channel. I'm super excited to talk more about all of this equipment and teach you more about pressure washing and soft washing. I'll catch you on the next one. Keep washing.